PacWest Magazine is brought to you in part by Hawaii Tourism Authority. Discover the beauty of the islands at GoHawaii.com. We go back to Point Loma to bring you full highlights of the 2014 PacWest Basketball Championships. As we relive 3 days of amazing plays, incredible performances, and crazy shots you'll just have to see twice. Welcome to the special tournament edition of PacWest Magazine from San Diego on the campus of Point Loma Nazarene University. Now 6 teams on the men's and women's sides have converged here on the Point Loma campus for some awesome basketball action. And the race to the championship is already heating up, so let's go check out all the highlights right now. The Dixie State and Hawaii Pacific men's teams kicked off the conference postseason in Game 1 of the 2014 PacWest Basketball Tournament Championships at Point Loma. The Sea Warriors upset the Red Storm by nearly 20 points in Honolulu back in January when the team from St. George was ranked number 7 in the country. But both teams have changed dramatically since then, and it would be a much different story today. Early in the first, HPU jumped out to a quick lead, controlling the tempo and throwing the Dixie scoring attack off balance. But the Sea Warriors would get into foul trouble early, sending Dixie to the free throw line 18 times compared to only twice for themselves, and had problems sustaining a rhythm down the stretch. Dixie State caught fire and pulled away behind Zach Robbins and Curtis Pappenfuss, who came off the bench to give the Red Storm a spark and give the home team a 7-point lead at the break. In the second, the Red Storm would go up by as much as 10, but had problems gaining distance on the Sea Warriors. Shooting only 29% for the game, Dixie State relinquished the lead under 5 minutes to play after Justin Long hit a long 3 to put his team up by 1. A big dunk by Lee Ferrani and another long jumper put the Sharks up by 4 before Zach Robbins' putback stopped the visitors' momentum. Dixie State would get as close as 3, but the Sea Warriors would pull away to win 71-65 in their second upset of the Red Storm this season. Long finished with 21 points to lead his team, while his big man Farbod Farman put in 19 of his own to go along with 17 rebounds and 3 blocks. The Sea Warriors now move on to meet Dominican in the semis, while Dixie State hopes to still earn a berth in the NCAA regionals.
I think our league is outstanding, and hats off to Dixie State. That's a tough one. I thought we've all coached long enough to be in a ball game where you control it for about 30 minutes and let it get away. But I was so pleased with our guys that we did not play well the first half. I know we gave up way too many offensive rebounds for a half. I think at halftime the free throws we were 0 for 2, and they had shot 18. So we were fouling too much, and that was hurting us. And so I appreciated the fact that I thought we adjusted the second half, and I thought defense was the difference. Dixie State's a good team, and for them to shoot 29% from the field, I'm sure that they're better than that and missed some, but I believe we had a little to do with that.
Yes, Zach is a really good big guy in our conference, but that doesn't mean that he's the best big guy in conference. So coaches, they prepared us for this game very well, and we're ready to go.
Rebounding was killing us. I think they had 10 offensive rebounds at halftime. We had shot more shots than them. They had shot more free throws, and a lot of their shots had come off second chances, and we had turned it over. But we thought we got to keep them off the offensive rebounds, and we've got to at least balance the free throw line activity.
We're a very versatile team. We can really match up with anybody. It's just a matter of whether we come to play or not. And I think we play both times against Dixie. They're a really good team, so we really get up to play in the game. And I think it just shows that we can play with anybody and win.
For the 3rd time this season, Ken Wagner's BYU Hawaii Seasiders battled Eric Bovair's Chaminade Silver Swords, this time in the opening round of the PacWest tournament. The first 2 times, the games went to overtime between these two, with each team winning on last-second heroics. For a while, this game did not appear to be headed in that direction as Chaminade built up double-digit leads. as PacWest star Lee Bailey had the hot hand. And so did Aussie reserve Kevin who scored some spectacular buckets. But then BYU Hawaii came roaring back late in the second half to set up yet another fantastic finish. Pablo Coro hit some key shots. DeAndre Madlock was strong down low. And when Luke Aston hit this really long three, the two teams were separated by just a single point in the final minute. That set the stage for the final frantic seconds. And that's when Chaminade's Kwani stepped up big time. The Silver Swords freshman became one of 3 Chaminade players to hit for 20 or more points. And they went on to hold off BYU Hawaii 90-85 to advance to the tournament semifinals.
Yeah, every time we play BYU, it's a battle. I mean, we played them to double overtime and overtime earlier. They know us, we know them. It's a chess match back and forth on some things, but we got a lot of respect for them. They're a quality team with quality kids, but you know, our guys really stepped up tonight. I'm really proud of them, especially freshmen, and Lee made some great decisions. We finished the game with 9 turnovers, and our goal was under 10, and we did it. I told them, if you guys will do that, we'll win, I can tell you. And thank goodness we were able to do it. We never feel like we have control of it when we play them. Until I look up there and we're up really big late in the game, we all know that they have the ability to come back super fast. They've got some great plays to get 3-point shooters. They got a great 3-point shooting team, so they're always in the game until the final buzzer.
Like Coach said, it's always an intense game with them, especially with we split the regular season and both going into overtime. So it's definitely a high emotion game, one that we really wanted to win. And luckily I got some shots to fall at the end. My teammates, made some plays to get me open, as well as, moving around and executing. Especially BYU, they like to score in spurts. So even when you get up like double digits, 10, 12 points, they can easily come down, transition, hit a couple threes, and then all of a sudden it's a 2-point game again. So yeah, it was a tough game, and we never thought we had it until the clock hits all 0. So it was nice.
It was just my teammates having confidence in me, just kicking it extra fast. I had my feet set, ready to let it go. So,
as coaches, we don't even look at the seeds. I mean, it doesn't matter who you're playing, 1 or 6 or whoever. They're all high-quality teams. Even if all the other teams in the conference were in it, you got to bring it every night when you're playing a PacWest team. It doesn't matter if they're the 13th ranked team or the 12th or 11th, whatever they're in the conference. You got to bring it every night or you're going to get beat. That's one thing these guys have learned through conference play. So it doesn't matter what seed you are. You got to bring it whoever it is.
Hawaii Pacific and Hawaii Hilo met for the 3rd time at the 2014 basketball tournament. The Vulcans were hoping to have a different outcome this time. However, the Sea Warriors completed the season sweep. The Vulcans jumped out to a quick 10-1 lead early on in the first half. However, HPU didn't let that quick start get them down. The Sea Warriors countered with an 11-2 run after trading baskets for the better part of the first half. HPU took a 34-28 advantage and never looked back, stretching the lead to 22 points late in the second half. HPU advances to face the number 2 seed California Baptist in the semifinals.
Well, I think the girls have been working hard, and we're just very excited to be playing pretty well at this time. Good time to be playing good. But yeah, they've been working hard. It's a testament to their hard work that we're playing well. Hilo, they really came out quick. They were, I think, probably a little more ready than we were. And I think at the same time, though, our girls did a nice job of pushing back, in the face of adversity. And, we kind of just slowly chipped away at it. And, I think they did a great job.
It was a tale of 2 halves and a little extra in the second women's quarterfinal between Dominican and Dixie State. Coach Katheria Turner's Red Storm jumped all over the Penguins in the first half behind Haley Homestead. who amassed a game-high 28 points on the night, taking a 10-point lead into the break. In the second, Dixie State kept the foot firmly set on the gas, running down Dominican to go up by as much as 17. But with about 10 minutes to go in the game, Coach Brianna Chambers' Never Say Die squad from San Rafael fought back, just like they had all season. Senior Salonika Q1 Owens took charge of her team down the stretch, hitting the big shots when her team needed them, finishing with a team-high 18 points. But it was the other member of that dynamic duo, freshman Carly Holboke, who, with ice water in her veins, drained 2 huge threes down the stretch, the second to put her team up by 4 with less than 2 minutes to go. And now with only seconds left, down by 3, Dixie had one last chance. Taylor Mann got an open look at a tray with 9 seconds but couldn't connect. But getting her own rebound, she was able to get one more shot. A Hail Mary launch that banked in to tie the game and send the teams to OT. In overtime, Dixie State gained new life, while the wheels came off the Dominican Express. In the end, it was the Red Storm securing its spot in the semifinals, taking down the Penguins 99-86.
It was a great game. Dominican did a great job of coming back and just fighting and just being a presence. But the big 3 by Taylor, I think it got some momentum going and got some juices back in us, and it carried us into overtime. And we were just really excited that we ended up with the W.
Let's talk about that shot now. We'll hear from Taylor in just a moment, but it looked pretty wild. Take us back.
I would like to say that we practiced that, but I can't take credit. She was just feeling it. I think one of her teammates was calling her name, and she looked him off and said, "No, I'm taking this again." And so it went in, and we were very grateful for it.
Well, I just remember thinking Kayla was fouled out, and I was like, who's gonna shoot the 3? Bree was fouled out, and I remember we ran the play, and I was shot the first one, it didn't go in, I was heartbroken immediately. I was like, no, and then it came back, and I was like, sitting there, I was looking at the hoop, and I was watching the time, and I heard Miranda yelling my name, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna shoot it. I was so far out, I was like, just throw it in, and no, I didn't call bank, but that's okay.
And when it did bank in, your reaction?
I think I went into shock. Like, my teammates were laughing in my face because I literally was just like I didn't know how to react, but it felt good, It actually didn't feel good. I don't know what it felt like.
Well, everyone that was on the floor at that time, Taylor was the one to shoot it. She shoots them in practice and she makes them, and so I had all the confidence in the world.
You thought she was going to bank it in?
No, I thought, I was like, you'll go in. Give her a second one, she can make it. So, yeah.
Because classrooms are smaller.
Students have more time with their instructors.
And I can compete for a national championship. I chose Division II for all these reasons and more.
I chose Division II.
Welcome back to PacWest Magazine, live from Point Loma Nazarene University here in San Diego. It's the semifinal rounds now in the PacWest Basketball Championships. So let's go check out these 2 games on both the men's and women's sides. Just one day after its come-from-behind win over Dixie State, HPU was already back on the court in the first men's semifinal of the PacWest Championships against Dominican. The Penguins hosted the Sea Warriors in Marin County during the regular season, with HPU handing the home team its only defeat of the season in the Dominican gym. Dominican would also be without the services of All-PacWest selection Devin Golston, who was sidelined with an injury. But the Penguins were undeterred and looked fresh in their first game of the tournament, while the Sea Warriors looked sluggish and were working from a deficit from the start of the game. In the second half, Dominican would continue the push, behind a stellar effort by seniors Mal Krilla, who had 24 points and 9 assists on the night. Hawaii Pacific would go down by as much as 23, but would cut the DU lead down to 10. But the team in black and gold was just too much, sending the Sea Warriors back to the island without that elusive tournament trophy, ending the remarkable careers of the HBU seniors on this day at Point Loma.
Into the championship finals.
Yeah, which is great territory for us. It's uncharted and new territory. Last year, lost a heartbreaker in the first round. And a couple of these guys remember that feeling. But hats off to HPU. They gave us fits early on inside just because they're so big. And those guys, yesterday, they played a heck of a game. So we knew coming in, it wasn't going to be easy, that we had to do a couple of things different. And from the first time, actually, when they were in San Rafael and they played us at our place, and that was our only home loss of the year. So we knew coming in that it wasn't going to be an easy game, and we had to execute our game plan for 40 minutes. Those guys, have been making shots, and those are kids who are comfortable making that shot. So everything that we do, those guys do day in and day out. So it really didn't surprise me. It's almost one of those things where I expect to go in, and when it doesn't, I'm shocked myself. I think it was a couple guys off the bench stepped up. We had Josh Ramirez get a put back at the very end. Carl Owner gave us some good minutes, and definitely Miles Carrillo and Dominique Taplin did a great job of running the offense and getting us into things and executing and knocking down those shots, especially since unfortunately Connor was in foul trouble. We would have loved to have had him on the floor, but those guys, took advantage of the opportunity, and that's something these kids have been doing all year long. You could probably go through all our starting lineups all year long with guys out with concussions and flus and chicken pox and injuries, unfortunately, but other kids have stepped up, and well deserved for them. They're taking advantage of that opportunity.
California Baptist made its first appearance ever in the PacWest Basketball Championships, entering as the #1 seed with a national ranking in tow. Chaminade, who started the tournament with an upset of BYU Hawaii, had been looking forward to this rematch with the Lancers, as CBU got the best of the Swords in the regular season. The game would be back and forth all night, but the Silver Swords proved that they were the team destined to make it to the championship game, not letting Cal Baptist get any farther than the semifinals. CBU's Conference Player of the Year, Ryan Berg, still scored 19 points, but it wasn't enough to get his team to the title game. Chaminade was led by its own freshman sensation, Kieran Shawstreet. The 6'6" guard came off the bench to score 22 points, while Lee Bailey added 18 of his own. Tyree Harrison recorded his second straight double-double with 13 points and 14 rebounds, as the Swords continued their magical run in the PacWest tournament with an 80-72 victory over the top seed.
That was an incredible game. We were in the locker room with last time we played Cal Baptist at their place without Lee Bailey and without Kieran. And I told these guys, I said, we're going to get them. We're going to get them in the conference tournament, and we're going to beat these guys. I promise you. And they truly believed it. And luckily, my prediction came true. But I'm proud of these guys. They played their butts off. They executed the game plan. Cal Baptist has the ability to put all kinds of pressure on you, and guys were strong with the ball. They only forced 12 turnovers on us, and so our guys did a great job handling their pressure.
I think first off, credit to our opponent. I thought Chaminade played an exceptional first half and was able to put us on our heels. And we take great pride in trying to dictate and control tempo and try and control basketball games. And I thought they put us on their heels tonight, and that's a credit to their program. It didn't surprise us. We knew what they're capable of on the offensive end of the floor. We missed some assignments. Our team's been really strong all year long on really embracing and attacking their assignments, and we missed a few. You're going to sometimes get hit when teams make some tough shots, and they hit some tough ones, but you can't combine those with missing assignments. Then you have what you had tonight, which is 11 threes, and the stats show you give up 11 threes, it's very difficult to win the game.
In the men's finals, Chaminade rode Cinderella to an impressive win over Dominican. Lee Bailey was named tournament MVP and was joined on the all-tournament team by teammates Kieran Shastri and James Harper. who knocked down a record 9 3-pointers to lead the 5th-seeded Silver Swords to an improbable PacWest championship. Welcome back to PacWest Magazine from beautiful San Diego. As you can see behind me, the sun is just setting over the horizon just in time for the women's semifinals of this basketball championship. So let's go check out all the action right now.
In the women's first semifinal action in the 2014 PacWest Conference Women's Basketball Tournament, California Baptist faced off against the Sea Warriors of HPU. This marked the rubber match between these two teams, with each winning only once. Both teams traded baskets while having tight defenses to hold each other to only 8 points midway through the first half. But that wouldn't last long when the Lancers went 50% from behind the 3-point line for a 5-point lead going into halftime. Cal Baptist kept the pressure on in the second half, running the floor and scoring quick points in transition. Ashley Jones scored 22 points along with Cassidy Mojaco's 24 to lead Cal Baptist into the championship final game 78-62 and taking the series win 2-1.
I was really proud of the way the team played. Thought we did a really nice job in the second half defensively, which helped us get easier baskets in transition. And I just was really pleased with the way that we fought pretty hard, and just generally pleased with how the game went. Thought we played really well. I mean, they're a pretty good team, and I'm sure they were getting a little tired because they had to play yesterday. We like to play fast, and we just kept thinking if we just kept getting stops defensively that we would be able to get stuff out in transition and really push the ball. And that's how we play most of the time anyway. But just kind of worked really well. We just basically have been playing one game at a time since about like January or something like that. So that's pretty much our motto, is just to take it one game at a time. That's pretty much, I think, the best thing you can do in tournaments. But yeah, we're not really focusing on anything past just playing the next game.
It was a tough night. Cal Baptist played well. I'll give them that much. They have a really nice group of young players. I thought, early on we matched them, point for point. We got out to a little bit of a lead, but I just felt like, it wasn't our night, as things started to progress to the latter part of the game, just things weren't really falling into place for us. And everything that we're trying, the girls are playing hard, but it's one of those things, Cal Baptist just played a little bit better tonight.
Just one night after Taylor Mann's miracle 3-pointer sent Dixie State to an overtime win over Dominican, the Red Storm was back on the court against the top seed, Academy of Art. It was the tournament debut of PacWest Player of the Year and former McDonald's All-American, Crystal Forthen, who took advantage of the smaller team from St. George. Forthen poured in a game-high 26 points and got help from Regina Camera and Shanice Story to lead the Urban Knights to an 82-72 victory and into the championship game.
Yeah, the biggest thing with us is composure, especially with a young team. We play a lot of sophomores, and we have been kind of a roller coaster, inconsistent team this year. And so we got up by a lot, got a little bit complacent, had some foul trouble, and so we had to have some people step up off the bench. We talked at halftime, that wasn't us. That's not the way we play. We didn't come out with the energy and intensity that we needed to. And I thought down the stretch was when we really showed what kind of team we were. Not our best performance, but it was good enough to get a win tonight. We're a different team when Crystal's on the floor, and it's in all aspects. Of course, she can score, everybody knows that, and she's very versatile. She's a hard matchup for anybody. She can shoot from the perimeter, she can get to rim, and she adds a lot, especially on the boards for us, and a presence in the lane defensively. So without her on the floor, we tend to struggle a little bit because we get used to having her on the floor. So obviously the goal from here on out is to keep her out of foul trouble, and when she's on the floor, we're a much better team.
I just like to come out and be ready to play, help my team the way I can, make sure we get stops when we need to, just talk, just basically play basketball. I mean, we're here to have fun. We're here, we're here to keep going on to the next level as far as we can. We just, as the 5, 1, and 4, we just play so that we could win and also play as a team and play together as family. I really never had a ring out through middle school, high school, nothing. So like, I'm 1 game away from getting my goal and like my personal goal. So it's like, I'm excited. Like I probably won't be able to sleep tonight. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's just I'm excited to play like a great team, Cal Baptist, and just being able to be a part of this great program. That's all I'm looking forward to.
I wouldn't say it was a point where we got tired. I think that we just got a little careless with some of the things that we were doing, and we kind of deviated away from our game plan. So I think that was kind of it. We let people hit key shots at key times, and we weren't able to get that rebound, and she tipped it back in, and we know who we're talking about here. But I think that was more so what it was. I didn't feel like that we got tired in the second half. I mean, you guys can kind of comment on that. You probably did.
I'm not gonna lie, I got really tired. But I had my teammates behind my back the whole time, just telling me, 3 more possessions or 2 more minutes, like just keep going, and there'll be a timeout. And so they helped keep me going. They gave me energy. So.
There were a few times, we were talking about this earlier, that we thought we could just out-jump her, and you can't out-jump 6'7". So,
6'4".
Yeah. When she jumps, she's 6'7". But, we just needed to get up on her a little bit closer than what we were playing and rebound a little more.
Academy of Art ran its unstoppable streak right into the championship game. California Baptist had no answer for Crystal Forthin, the tournament MVP, who had a career-high 28 points to go with 14 boards. Coach Lene Larson cut down the nets for the 2nd straight year as the Urban Knights repeated as a PacWest representative to the NCAA tournament. Thanks for joining us for another episode of PacWest Magazine. Our champions are crowned this year in our tournament. It's Academy of Art on our women's side and Shaman on the men. For our commissioner, Bob Hogue, I'm Wayne Coito. We'll see you next week on PacWest Magazine. PacWest Magazine is brought to you in part by Hawaii Tourism Authority. Discover the beauty of the islands at GoHawaii.com.